Hi, I'm Barbara Obermeier. I am a Dummies author. I've written several titles, including Photoshop for Dummies, all-in-one desk reference, Photoshop Elements for Dummies, PowerPoint titles, and digital photography titles. I've actually been using Photoshop since version 1, way back in 1990 when I was still a student. So I've kind of been a Photoshop evangelist from the beginning to now. Well, since I've been around with it since version 1, it's come so far. There's so many more features and tools than there was before. When I first started using the program, we didn't even have layers. So what we had to do was we had to save multiple files of every project because it was so hard to make revisions. So when layers came around in version 3, it literally changed my life. I had tons of time all of a sudden, and it's so much quicker and just so much easier to use. My all-time favorite new feature is layer masking. That used to be a Photoshop only feature, and I think so many people asked for it that Adobe finally ported it over from Photoshop into Elements. And what layer masking allows you to do is it allows you to selectively show and hide portions of your image or images if they're in layers. And so what that does, it gives you a lot of creative options as far as compositing and fixing your images. And before this last release, we had to kind of do a workaround to get that. Now it's just as easy as it is in Photoshop. So that's a real huge benefit to Elements users. The biggest differences between the two programs is that Photoshop is really dedicated to helping creative professionals do their job. So there's some advanced features that most people don't need, like certain color modes that are for high-end color correction or for offset printing. There is a Bezier pen tool for drawing vector illustrations and those kinds of things that most people don't want to do, and they're kind of difficult to do anyway. But on the other hand, there's some things that Elements has that Photoshop doesn't have. And one of those things is the ability to actually manage your assets within the program. People that have Photoshop use Bridge to manage. There's an organizer workspace in Elements that allows the Elements user to tag their images with keywords, they can put them in categories, they can rate them. So they have this built-in management system in addition to the power of all of the editing of the images that they can do. The other thing that Elements has, I think, that Photoshop doesn't have is that Elements really focuses on the user being able to share their images easily. So this latest version of Elements has a direct connection to Facebook so that you can optimize and totally get your images the way you want them, and then directly from the program upload to Facebook and to Flickr. So I think that those are really huge benefits that Photoshop doesn't offer. Photoshop, I think, now has kind of become the program just for creative professionals. So if you're a professional designer or a photographer or a filmmaker, you may need some of those advanced features that only Photoshop can offer. But I think the majority of the people out there, the hobbyists, people that don't need it to do their job, I think Elements is totally sufficient and really gives them everything that they need.